I would like to introduce, say something about the book all about. Thereafter, our honorable book launch will be there and our honorable guest will start. Actually, let me tell you that please don't go by some sort of what I would say inappropriateness of this particular management. It is all because of, that I have come all the way from outside. But actually what this book is all about, it becomes very, very important for me to acquaint you, to familiarize you with exact structure, nature of this book. The book Living Legends of Mithila एक माने एहन पुस्तक अपने सबक सामने में लिखल गेल है जे पुस्तक मान लिया जे एक विश्व में पहिल बेर ई पुस्तक के रचना भेले हैं जे कि लिविंग लेजेंड्स ऑफ मिथिला पर छे और मान लिया ई पुस्तक के बारे में जे छे मिथिला के ट्रेडिशन मिथिला की चीज छे ते पर बिना किछ रोशनी देने until and unless I try to give you some sort of background about what Mithila is all about, possibly I would not be able to do justice to the intelligentsia class which has assembled at this particular august place. The place becomes more sacred because of its association or its tag with that of the father of the nation. I remember in Young India in 1921 when Mahatma Gandhi had called off the non-cooperation movement, there was a wide criticism. In fact, there was a wild criticism against calling of that movement. And Mahatma Gandhi justified his action by this particular quote, which I would like to quote before the topmost intellectuals that have assembled here. He said, "If I were to be reborn, I would like to be born as a Harijan so that I could share their pain and their misery." That was the comment of the father of the nation, a visionary. And here, just the very objective or the mission behind organizing this book launch has been that this place has such a sanctity attached to it that it and despite that it has an inextricable connection with that of Mithila. Gandhi has an inextricable connection with Mithila. Why? I am just going to tell you in few sentences. Mahatma Gandhi had started his movement that is from Champaran, and Champaran is an integral part of Mithila. And not only that, if any part of India which has followed Gandhi's doctrine, that is none but Mithila. Why it is so? Because you all would appreciate that Gandhi, he followed or he preached or rather espoused the cause of non-violence. And Mithila is the place which is everywhere and in almost every matil you find the peace and tranquility which has become the scarcest of commodity in today's contemporary scenario. That is the association, an inextricable link between Gandhi and Mithila. And we have, I take immense pride in saying that we have the Bhishma Pitamaha of Mithila community, Dr. Sri Bindeswar Pathak, one of the most ardent followers of Gandhi. One of the most ardent. And not only that, in fact, I am not blowing his trumpet. And I do also say simultaneously that I have to blow his trumpet because I am also a Maithil. And I am looking forward to Honorable Prime Minister. I have already written to the Prime Minister to bestow or to confer Bharat Ratna on Dr. Sri Bindeswar Pathak ji. Because that will be a glory to Mithila. I told him, while I interviewed Dr. Sri Bindeswar Pathak ji 2 years back, I told him that, sir, wherever you had gone, you took Mithila pride along with you. And I appealed to Honorable Prime Minister, about which, whom I wrote a book, along with Madhu Kishwar ji, she also wrote a book on Prime Minister, and I had a meeting with her then. Delhi Beckons Raga for Namo, which Prime Minister took immense pride in launching it in Vibrant Gujarat Education Summit. So coming to the main point, my dear intellectuals from the intelligentsia class, the living legends of Mithila, why I took so much trouble in writing this book and showcasing the glory of Mithila is, I would like to tell you and rather in jest what it is all about. You see, Yajnavalkya Rishi, or you can say that the great sage, was the first man born on earth to have spoken about Brahma and his creation. He was the first man. पहिल व्यक्ति वो छलायत जो ब्रह्मा और उनका सृष्टि के बारे में वर्णन कलखिन. And not only that, even Mandal Mishra, the philosopher of Mimamsa philosophy, had taught the world what is the Mimamsa philosophy all about. In course of his historic debate with great Adi Shankaracharya, he taught him as to what the Karma Kanda is all about. And you find nowhere the Karma Kanda has been written in so much meticulous details as it has been written in such a holy and sacred place of Mithila. In the medieval times we had produced, the great pious land of Mithila had produced great poet Vidyapati. And I tell you, when I read the autobiography of a yogi, the great Saint Paramahansa Yogananda says that even Tagore was inspired by the great Vidyapati's songs. And we find the manifestation of the great thinking of Tagore in the books of, thinking of Vidyapati in the manifestation of all the writings of Tagore. And at the same time, a great son of Mithila, that is Shankara Misra, he had the audacity to enter into the hall of Darbhanga's emperor. And then when everybody mocked or derided upon his entry, that how could a child enter upon such a sacred place occupied by all the court members, he introduced himself in few lines. And I take immense pride in trying to address this, or rather in trying to memorize or trying to speak about it. That is, Baloham Jagdanandang Name Bala Saraswati Apurane Panchame Barse Barnayam Jagatriyam. I may be a small child, but I do have the potential to describe the universe. That was the greatness of a small boy. So when I have written the classic, that is, the living legends of Mithila, I just carried forward the same tradition. The tradition that was being espoused, that was being championed by great Vidyapati, by great Shankara Misra, and by great, Mandan Misra. The living legends of Mithila encapsulates the details of, illustrious lives of 25 people, 25 achievers, and 25 achievers from different backgrounds. We have here in our midst, sitting on the first line, second line, topmost achievers of this country. To begin with, Madam Srimati Gyan Sudha Misraji, the only honorable lady to have risen to the position of the highest court of land, and that also from the so-called intellectuals dubbed the people from Bihar and UP as Cobalt area. Whereas, see the irony of ironies, it is the people from Bihar, the intellectuals from Bihar, who are ruling the roost in bureaucracy, who are showing the direction to the nation, but still they become the object of derision from so-called intelligentsia class. Not only that, we have Dr. Sri Dinesh Misraji, a river putra, a man from IIT Kharagpur, who devoted his entire life for researching on the rivers of Bihar, and devoted his entire life. You will be surprised to know, when I went to Nepal for portraying the lives of such people, I would just like to say a little later, I was surprised. People had compared Dr. Misra with that of Dr. Abul Kalam. They said that Dr. Misra's contribution is very much, at par with that of Kalam. That has been the wonderful contribution of Dr. Misra. Coming to Madam Srimati Usaji, the industrialist that she is, she has her own industries, built up her own industries from the scratch. And indeed, she is carrying forward the dream of the Prime Minister, that is Make in India. If at all somebody has to crystallize or be an engine for the manifestation of that dream, she is one of them. So give a big hand for Madam Usaji for her industrial contribution. We have in our midst, I would like to quote here, a very famous adage of that of great Dhirubhai Ambani ji. Dhirubhai Ambani ji had said, think ahead, act fast, idea is nobody's monopoly. I had an idea, my dear intellectual class, people from intellectual class. I just had a raw idea that I would love to write a book on the legends, or you can say the illustrious achievers from Mithila. But then, if you don't have finance, all your ideas will simply go down the drain. My idea could manage to find its engine, and today if it has fructified or it has materialized, it is all because of Sri Rajesh Jha for his kind financial and moral support. He is a Napoleon Bonaparte of Mithila, in as much as his Napoleonic vision had seen the manifestation of such top-class industries in Angul of Jindal Group. Today he is with the Adani Group and ensuring the rise of Adani and Godda. A new project is coming up where more than 10,000 people will find employment. It is all under his supervision. Let us give a big hand to Sri Rajesh Jha for his Napoleonic leadership in the corporate world. We have Honorable Sri Ramakant Babu. You do not know much about him. I was not known to this honorable gentleman. When I wrote Delhi Beckons Raga for Namo, I ran from pillar to post to get the book launched. I was in touch with Dr. Subramanian Swamy, who promised me that he would launch it. But all of a sudden he joined BJP and he just, took a U-turn. He said to me that, no, Mr. Jha, I am not going to launch it because my colleagues have restrained me from doing so. I said, Dr. Swamy, I am really sad to know about this. Because although you have joined BJP, but you gave me your commitment to launch it, to write forward for it. But now you are backing out. This is not the Swamy I knew. We had an argument later on, he never picks up my call because 10 minutes argument was there. So in that particular, in the hour of darkness, in the sense, I was looking for somebody to launch it. I just called upon Sri Ramakant Babu, who was at that point in time the managing director of Gift City, a baby or child product of Honorable Prime Minister. And he helped me out in reaching to the Prime Minister, and the book consequently got launched by Honorable Prime Minister. His contribution is this. This is my, the favor that he did to me. But his contribution is immense. From zero he built up, the overall, you can say turnover of Gift to 50,000 crores. And today Gift is a very, very strong key player. I have visited Gift so many times. I know its overall credibility. Give a big hand for a visionary leader like Sri Ramakant Babu. I have portrayed many, many privileged people who unfortunately could not make it. Sri Anjani Kumar Singh Ji, a People's Chief Secretary of Bihar. A man, especially in this time, when the people, even the lesser mortals are inaccessible, the only Chief Secretary I have seen who is accessible to one and all, that is Sri Anjani Kumar Singh of Bihar, the Honorable Chief Secretary, a People's Chief Secretary of Bihar. Although he is not present, but he is really, I think he will go down in the history as a People's Chief Secretary of Bihar. I have also been privileged to portray another Chief Secretary of Gujarat, Dr. Sri Jain Singh Sahab. He could not make it, you all would appreciate, very busy with his own bureaucratic work in Gujarat now in the view of the impending election. But he had sent his greetings and his blessings to me. Wonderful man with a JNU product, possibly with Madhuji sitting here. He knows Madhuji, she also might be knowing him, knowing Anjani Babu as well. So basically, he's also a People's Chief Secretary, very, very knowledgeable, erudite, honorable gentleman. Thereafter, I was privileged to portray Srimati Sarda Sinhaji, who all of you must be knowing has been a wonderful singer. Unfortunately, she has been bedridden and she will be, she could not make it in today's function because of, she has been advised medical rest for next 3 months. Wonderful, singer. I have portrayed so many people from like Sri Manas Bihari Burma, one of the topmost scientists who actually, who was the architect of Tejas, light combat aircraft by the then Honorable Prime Minister. In fact, to my perception, he is the greatest Prime Minister of this nation, Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee. So Vajpayee ji had given the name Tejas, and the architect was Sri Manas Bihari Burma, who was very close to Dr. Abul Kalam, and today a wonderful job he is doing. Across Darbhanga, the Abul Kalam's foundation, he is under his monitoring or supervision. All those mobile vans go to various schools and they teach all underprivileged children about technology and all that. So I have been privileged to portray even Dr. that is Manas Bihari Burma. When I was, my book, I am a writer of, privileged to be a writer of, Yes, I Am Bihari. The book, which was launched by Honorable Chief Minister Sri Nitish Ji on the eve of Bihar Divas 2016. So it was the only book Nitish Ji launched in the company of all the ministers, and of course Anjani Babu was he was the facilitator because he liked the book so much. Now there I saw the portrait of Dr. Sri Birbal Jha juxtaposing with that of Sri Vajpayee. So I wondered that what Mr. Birbal Jha has done in order to have his photograph juxtaposing with that of such a tallest man in the country. I inquired about it. I came to know his wonderful contribution, not only as a founder of British Lingua, but the beauty of it is that he rose from a very, very humble background to manage to hog the limelight. He has been doing wonderful work in the social segments. We have in our midst one of the valiant ladies who, despite being an unlettered and uneducated, managed to rise on the horizon and become one of the legends, not by virtue of my writing about her, but it is all because of her wonderful deeds. She is none but Madam Srimati Tilya Devi ji, a Nobel nominee. She cannot write or read properly, but the wonderful, when I visited her village, you all would be surprised to know this is the only book written in the country and across the world where the author had taken the initiative to visit all the illustrious achievers and to profile them, to portray them. When I went to Tilyaji's village, I was surprised to see that she had single-handedly managed to rehabilitate at least I think around thousands of people from backward class by single-handedly picking up the gauntlets against all the Brahmins and all the Yadavs. Those were the dominant community there. Single-handedly she defeated the vested interest and got the land allotted to her own brethren. Give a big hand for Tilyaji. I am not addressing, rather not casting the pearls before the swine. Today I am privileged to be communicating or speaking before such a gathering which comprises of the topmost members from intelligentsia. Sitting on the dais before Honorable Sri Chaturbedi ji, the first watchdog of the Republic, who taught the nation as to what should be the role of the constitutional functionaries. Later on, we knew about Seshan Sahab and others. But Chaturbedi ji, in fact, was the first person to have taught the nation the actual role of constitutional functionary. Sir, I am privileged to be in your company, sir. I never knew that I would have that particular privilege. These apart, I even had the privilege of portraying the people, who are exponents of Mithila painting, who have been exponents of Mithila painting, but unfortunately she is very much in the trend now. She will be reaching, because of late schedule we know, which has become the tendency, rather institutionalized tendency of this republic. She is still in the train, possibly would have landed or would be about to land. She could not make it. Srimati Asa Jha. There have been the crusaders. I must tell you very frankly, unambiguously and very honestly, that I have been privileged to portray only the genuine achievers, the bona fide achievers, who was not at all influenced by so-called hypes and hooplas or sort of, all superficiality. I went by the genuine contribution of the people. You can hear witnesses there, Dr. Sri Pathak ji. He had given me time after 3 months. Sir, you are the witness here. You would be corroborating my statement because of his business, because of his preoccupations. But I still did not give up hope. Because of his contribution, if I would have written a book without Mr. Pathak being a part of it, possibly I would not have done justice to the community. So the purpose of my making this statement observation is this, that I have done justice to the community. I have never gone by the superficiality, by the sort of air which has become what you can say the prerogative, or rather which has become the fashion of the contemporary generation, or even the people of today's modern times. I have gone by the actual genuine achievement. Now coming to the very point, what the book is all about, I have already said about the illustrious lives. I have even said that it is nothing but carrying forward of the tradition, the rich tradition of Mithila. But now I do need to delve into the objective. What exactly has been the objective? Why did I walk so many miles? You all would appreciate the fact when Honorable Sri Rajesh ji had confided his faith in me, rather had reposed his faith in me. That was a mere raw material. I was not that very popular. In fact, by the grace of God, only Yes I Am Bihari brought me popularity. So what basically I would say, that even people would not give me an appointment because of my stature, of not being of that, that recognizable, or people would not take cognizance of my stature then. But despite all that, I crusaded, I struggled to give the community something to feel pride upon, to give the community some sort of prize some sort of legacy for the posterity as well. So the mission or vision behind it has been that Mithila throughout has been rich in education and knowledge. You would be surprised to know, those who have gone through it, Mr. Amish Tripaঠি's latest book on Mithila, he had also portrayed, I don't know, I have not met Mr. Tripathi, he had portrayed Mithila to be a land of, to be an impoverished land in the ancient, or you can say medieval, in the times of Sita, the Treta Yuga. I do not know where from Mr. Amish Tripathi had drawn that particular inference, or that idea where from it generated. Because just to keep Mithila traditionally poor, or you can say poor even in those days, do not do justice to an author. Because Mithila, of course, has been a place of knowledge and erudition, but it equally would have been a rich place then. So today, Mithila, because of education and erudition, is still shining globally or shining on the horizon. But what needs to be done? What sort of correctives needs to be institutionalized into the system that needs a proper contemplation, a proper rumination, and proper, proper studies? First thing is that Mithila basically has to go, Mithila has to go for that. To give a legacy to the Mithila has been my prime objective. That Mithila, the youth of the contemporary times, should draw inspiration from that, and they can go ahead. They can follow the illustrious lives of these people, and they try to become as good as the legends that I have described in the book. Now, coming to know on dais, we have so many such talented people sitting over here. That Madhuji is there, Honorable our Chief Guest Sahab will deliver his speech, try to share some of his vision with you. I would just like to say before winding up, that this book I have written, putting in all sort of pains, invested all my efforts. Not that book, books should remain in the library. I have written this book as a source of inspiration for the contemporary generation. And not only that, even for a legacy for the posterity. But at the same time, the book should, be something like some sort of gift for the community across the world. They should follow the illustrious lives of our great achievers, and they should also try to become like one. I have sitting here Sri Rajiv Singh Ji, my honorable guru, one of the brilliant chartered accountants the nation has produced, a valuation expert. And today, sir, you have been an a comptroller auditor general. My guru Sri Rajiv Ji is equally brilliant, and he also has a pleasure to meet you, definitely, So in the presence of all this galaxy of people, now, I would just like to quote, because it has been usually customary for me to quote this particular couplet from Bengali, because I represent both Bengal and Bihar, or Mithila. Because born and brought up in Calcutta, amidst all top-class intellectuals, I have seen the Bengali culture from very close distance. When Mamata Banerjee had conducted a program of Seraj Sera, where she had invited Arundhati Bhattacharya and all that, she felicitated all those people. So I drew the inspiration that Mithila deserves even something better than that. And that also was one of the pushes, or one of the motivational factors that inspired me to write The Living Legends of Mithila. I am thankful to every single individual, honorable all those our galaxy of legends who have enlightened today's function, our people, intellectuals sitting on the dais today, like Madhuji, Honorable Sri T.N. Chaturvedi Sahab, Dr. Sri Rajendra Singh Ji, not only a Nagasasi awardee, I hope that he will soon become a Nobel laureate as well, like our Dr. Sri Bindeswar Pathak Ji. So these are the people I have invited. The message was very simple, that let Mithila and let this book find its relevance in front of such topmost people from intelligentsia class. Before winding up, I would like to quote this particular great song from Bengal, from a Bengali song. Ami haslam, আমি হাসলাম বহু কাঁদলাম, আমি জীবন জুয়ারে ভাসলাম, আমি বন্যার কাছে ঘূর্ণির কাছে রেখে গেলাম আমার ঠিকানা, ঝড়ের কাছে রেখে গেলাম আমার ঠিকানা. Great Hemanta Mukhopadhyay says in this song that when I was born, wherever the flood of life took me, I just went according to that direction. But even before, much before I left this world, I managed to leave my own footprints behind for the other generations to follow in their, follow in my footsteps. Today, by writing The Living Legends of Mithila, I have left the footprints of 25 glorious achievers for the entire community to follow in their footsteps. That is the work I have done, and I am very satisfied by leaving the footprints of 25 people. Thank you. Thanks to all of you. Jai Hind, Jai Misra, Jai Maithili, Jai Hind, Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Now I invite our Honorable Chief Guest Sahab for his speech, and then we'll have some book launch, and then other speakers will follow with their speeches. Before I start felicitating my Maithili legends.
Book launch पहले कर
लो. Actually, Madhuji says, let us have the book launch first, and then Honorable C. T. N. Chaturvedi ji will follow with his speech.